Good evening, everyone. Hope everybody has now joined. We're here for race number 12. It is season 4 of the Cone Racing League, and the Cone Racing Academy is in their 12th race. As I say, we're here at the Hungaroring in Hungary for the Hungarian Grand Prix. The lads today and lasses are going to be over 35 laps, the distance of 2.7 miles or 4.3 kilometres. However, first, I have with me a special guest this week, new to Cone Racing Academy's comms, a fellow Tier 2 driver. He is teammates with Pierre at McLaren and having a very good season in Tier 2, currently 5th in the Cone Racing Championship in the Tier 2 series, currently in Season 4, was on the podium last week at the Paul Ricard circuit in France for a 3rd place finish. He is Ethan, aka the Little Juan. Welcome. How are you doing, mate?
Thank you for such a warm welcome, Pheasant. Really excited to be here in the comment box today with you for this Academy race. I reckon it's going to be an absolutely brilliant race today at the Hungaroring. Thank you for that brilliant introduction once again, mate.
That's all right. That's all right. I quite enjoyed doing a little bit of research on you, seeing how things were going. How are you finding it at the moment? I know we had a little bit of a chat off earlier on, but how's the season going for you so far?
Yeah, so it was pretty good actually. Started in Tier 3, got a few wins in there for the 3 races that I was there, and then been bumped up to Tier 2. And I've actually managed to hold my own in Tier 2, thankfully. I was a little nervous going into it, but yeah, it's been pretty good. Finally got my first podium last time out, as you mentioned, in France. Double podium for the McLaren boys. Fingers crossed that can be repeated today for this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Give me a second. I've been told to turn my mic down a little bit and yours up a bit. I've turned my mic up because I've been too quiet in the previous weeks. I can't really win with this bloody mic. Hang on a second. Right. I'm measuring it at the moment with how many fingers are in front of my face. In front of my lips to get the distance so I can get a perfect distance mic ratio. So I'm going to pull the mic away. Please, someone say in the chat if you can keep an eye on that chat. Juan, if anything comes through about the mic volume, so if you can turn yours up or get a little bit closer to it somehow, that would be good. I know I told him, in fairness everyone, I did tell him to turn it down earlier on because of some echo, so my bad, but we'll
yeah, I'll quickly sort that out now.
Nice one. So, we're out on track. We're going to get everything sorted on the right-hand side. Disabled, enabled, full track to have a little look at. There's quite a few cars on track currently, so hell knows who is on a fast lap. MSC Harvey is he at the front of that said lot? Let's have a little look. We'll go out on Hedgehog. We'll have a look at Hedgehog, see how he's going. He's currently on a lap. He's put some softs on. He's heading towards Sector 2. That's Turn 4. A flat-out left-hander. You get as much of the curb as you can. Some people take a flat-out, some people are going to lift. We'll see that today. He's got a purple first sector. Hedgehog, he came in 9th last week at the Paul Ricard in France and looking to try and get closer still. He's a part of the power foursome at the top of the championship currently, but I'll get onto that in a moment. As we see him just entering Sector 3, Turn 11, right-hander. Sniper Boy Hart's currently sending the fastest of the session with a 1:15.9. This is Turn 12.
To interject there,
go for it.
There's been a yellow flag in Sector 2. I think one of the Haas cars spinning around. That will be Gauthier Lefalon, I do believe, as he is the only Haas car on track. It was either that or he's letting some guys through. Couldn't quite catch that, but yeah, some yellow flags in Sector 2. Don't think anyone's managed to get round that section while they're on their flying lap though, so fingers crossed no laps were impeded.
Lovely, thank you very much, Juan. So Ryan Mills has just gone fastest as I speak. Mr. Squeeder, last week's winner, will jump on board with him. Oh, he's then validated his lap, in fact, so he's just letting someone pass there. Jay Wills, before I could even find him, pops himself at the top of the track there. There's been a little bit of moving around as well. Gautier's now set a lap 1:37, so something didn't go right there. A 1:14.642 though. So let's have a jump down the field and see who's currently on the laps. Looks like Ghost Angel 1 is currently setting a fast lap. Yes, he is in Sector 2 currently. Sniper Boy Hearts has put a lap in there. I think he did, with a 1:15.987 to put himself in 3rd position. Reverend Melvin with a 1:16.4 puts himself in 4th position. Looked like there was a yellow flag again in the end of Sector 1, but I believe it was the McLaren allowing Alfa Romeo to get past.
That was Golden Wolf letting Murphy through. He's currently on a flying lap on the medium tyres, interestingly enough. Maybe he's trying to get those tyres to start the race on.
It's not a bad shout. Potentially, it depends what he's going to go for. I mean, on that we could maybe mention strategy. I don't know if you have a personal favourite, but on looking earlier on, there was T1 drivers that were setting times in the 113s around the track. I think AJ, VMark, those two lads had set 113 times, which was pretty decent. I think it was overcast conditions. 115, a sub 115, I would think would be good enough to win this session, and we've already seen that, and there's 12 minutes to go. So that could be very interesting. Who have we seen down here? Mr. Squeedo has set one lap. He's currently set in a purple sector. He's coming round the sweeping left-hander, the sort of spoon, at turn 13. And only 14 turns in this track. That's the final sweeping right-hander going slightly more uphill. And get down on DRS open. DRS ran out. Puts himself P2 with a 115.4 from Mr. Squeedo.
Yeah, I was finishing watching Murphy's lap, and I don't think he felt like he was very comfortable on those medium tyres, so he came straight into the pits halfway through his flying lap, and I also think he invalidated that one, so maybe he might be swapping over to the soft tyres for possibly a better run at the beginning of the race.
Makes perfect sense. I don't think, from looking at that, considering Mazel's time as well, he's been going well in the Alfa Romeo as well as Murphy, the two partners there. But yeah, again, both of them in the Alfa Romeos going out on those medium strategy, and we can see that none of them have been good enough to get into the top 10, or none of them, might have been good enough just as quick as they can get with those tyres. Jay Wills, who was that? No, it wasn't. It was Big Ben we were on board with, and he jumped into second place with a 115.2, representing the Alpha Tauri.
Yeah, Mazel's doing exactly the same as his teammate, coming straight into the pits. So it doesn't look like the medium tyre is going to be a very competitive one for these Academy boys during this qualifying session. Currently watching Greg on his outlap. He's managed to put on the softs. So we're really interested to see where he puts the car on his flying lap.
Yeah, we're just going to jump on with Greg's game centre because I'm just looking around the track and I'm not too sure who else is actually on a lap. I think Big Ben potentially, but he's just put himself P2. But he might go out with a second. He might have a second go at it potentially. Jay Wills on an outlap there. Ryan Mills on an outlap. So we'll keep a little eye on them once Greg has set a lap. Oh, he's just on his outlap. Sorry.
Yeah, Wild Dog is coming round the penultimate corner, actually. He is currently on a set of soft tyres. And is he coming into the pits? Yes, he is. I thought he was on another flying lap there. He had his ERS on hot lap mode, so I thought he was on a flyer. But no, he's coming into the pits. Seems like he's pretty happy with that P9 so far, or maybe he wants to stick on a fresh set of tyres.
Yep, okay, thank you for that. Right. So Greg's game centre on a lap. We're going to stay with him at the moment. We can see that Jay Wills is on an outlap. Ryan Mills is on an outlap. So we're going to jump on board with one of the league leaders there at the top as soon as they're on, which Ryan Mills is. So I'm going to come back to Ryan Mills and see what he can do going around to the first corner. A little bit of a downhill here. Sometimes can get a little bit slippy at the top of there. You need to be quite careful. It's the first DRS straight going downhill towards the second corner. You lose quite a lot of pace and you can sort of course round that corner and then straight back on. Back downhill again. Plenty of undulation on this circuit, and that can come into play with the type of corner you're going to take. When we're going heading towards turn 4 with a purple first sector, takes a lot of the outside of the curb. The full race availability. You can get really close to that corner and as the sweeping right-hander, but you don't want to get too close because turn 5 can be a killer. If you touch the inside of that corner, that's pretty much game over. 6-7 done. Heads towards turn 8, the left-hander towards turn 9 as they're swinging back towards the right. And it's an invalidation for him. He's gone and took it a little bit too deep, and that, I think both wheels must have crossed that white line. Unfortunate for him. Jay Wills is currently on a lap as well. Can he better his 114.642?
While we were watching Ryan Mills' Ferrari, Greg managed to put himself up into P14 with a 117.466. I'm currently watching Hedgehog, who unfortunately isn't just invalidated his lap coming through turn 4 and turn 5. Fingers crossed to be hoping for a bit of a better qualifying there. The guy who's currently in 4th in the standings. It's been a while since he's managed to get onto the podium, so fingers crossed he can get a good qualifying position to start the race higher up the grid.
Thank you so much for that. And we've just seen Jay Wills. He's around the last corner. He was only 4,000th of a second behind his time, and he can't better it on this lap. But he's certainly been consistent with the pace that he's shown at the front of the field. Jay Wills had to settle for 5th last week and second in the championship, as Ryan Mills is our current leader with 279 points. Jay Wills with 273. So the top two very, very close. What I would say is the top four now, the 79 points split them. Murphy in 5th, so if we go, Mr. Squeedo, by the way, has already made the top 10. Now, he's not been here for the full season, he's certainly had to... Oh, we're on board with Jay Wills, and that might have been... He's so lucky to not be completely removed from the session, lost his wing entirely on the stream there. Pushing that little bit too hard, I feel that could have gone more severely wrong for him, so thankfully he's still got... to pull back into the pits. That could have been pretty tragic. Gautier Lefalon has invalidated his lap. He's come back out. To be honest, with 7 minutes 34, he's probably still got time to improve on that. Wild Dog, he's on no laps. That was someone on that wall. Golden Wolf looked like he'd lost it there into turn 3. So that's going to be not bettered by him either. We'll jump. Hedgehog, he's invalidated his lap. Reverend, he's just started his hot lap. We'll stay on board with Reverend, see what he can do. Mr. Squeedo again on an out lap. Big Ben at the top there. He's currently on a lap as well. He's currently 3rd position, so it's Mr. Squeedo on 83, makes the top 10. That is El Wyatt that has to make place for him in the top 10. Gautier Lefalon with a 120 in P9 currently. Mazzles with 121, so only 1 point better. Actually, 987 is 120, 121, 122. Gautier Lefalon, Mazzles, Sniper, then 127, 135. JB Bowie, Murph going up the list, and then Hedgehog in 4th position with 200 points. Big Ben with 258 in 3rd. Jay Wills with 273, and our current championship leader of Ryan Mills with 279. That's 79 points split, those top 4, but out of that 58 points split Hedgehog and Big Ben, so you can see that it is starting to get quite tight at the top, as they say. So Reverend Melvin has invalidated. Just flicking around the track now to see who's out. Let's have a little look on Big Ben. He's invalidated. Mr. Squeedo, here we go. We'll stay on board with Mr. Squeedo, last week's winner, and see whether he can improve. Last week, Mr. Squeedo won. JB Bowie in 2nd, Ryan Mills in 3rd, Sniper Boy Hards took 4th, Jay Wills in 5th.
Gautier Lefalon's just improved to P3 there from P6, improving on his lap time. He's looking very quick, and also I noticed that Murphy has indeed swapped from the medium tyres to the soft tyres, and he actually set a purple middle sector, so it looks like his race is going to be based completely off the downforce through those tight twisty sections in the 2nd sector. He's put himself up to 8th momentarily and then knocked down to 9th by Ghost Angel 1, who's having a really good qualifying session so far.
Thank you very much. JB Bowie on an outlap currently. We've just seen there that Mazzles had invalidated and he's come back into the pits on the soft, so only wanted to set one at a time. Gautier Lefalon actually was in P6, and it was as if you'd read my mind because you said it just as I was getting to him. Number 6, Gautier Lefalon. 7th, Big Ben. 8th, Murphy. 9th, Hedgehog. And 10th is Wild Dog, and that was last week in Paul Ricard, as I say. We're still on board with JB Bowie. He's currently on an outlap. He's invalidated. That doesn't matter. He's on an outlap. And everybody sat in the pits for, inevitably, the final set of softs to come on and really have the sprint to the finish. So that means that strategy-wise, you could be looking at soft mediums if you're going to go for a 2-stop. I know soft hard would be a recommendation from the game. Soft medium, I'm not too sure if that's actually doable or not. I can't remember if it's doable, but I think it would be a lot of management with a track like this. It's only a short track, as you can see, with the 114 being quick enough. Golden Wolf, has he just retired, or has something? Yeah, he's just retired.
Yeah, it looks like he's just retired from the session. I'm currently watching Sniper Boy on his qualifying lap. He's managed to make it look pretty clean, to be fair to him. He's just run out of ERS coming round the final corner, but he's managed to keep it all 4 wheels on the track. Let's see where he puts himself. There we go, up into P3, relegating Gautier Lefalon down to P4, Mr. Squiddo down to P5, last race's winner. So it's getting all tight at the top there between Gautier Lefalon, Sniper Boy and Mr. Squiddo.
Yeah, absolutely. Just on board with JB Bowie, but I've noticed that Ryan Mills, our current race championship leader, is also on a hot lap, and he's just swinging around the final corner now, turn 14. See whether or not he can improve on his lap. Can he? P7 currently. He didn't invalidate on the last lap, and he's put himself P2. Well done, Ryan. 1:15.2. These three, as per usual, always floating around the top. Sniper Boy, actually, I would extend that to as well. Good driving from Gautier. Sniper Boy just at the side of the track there, though. Did he lose it? Or is he just set a lap and letting people pass potentially?
Yeah, he's just set a lap, so I think this might be his cool-down lap.
Cool.
And look at the gap between Ryan Mills and Big Ben there. That's 0.006 of a second separating P2 Ferrari and P3 Alpha Tauri. Very, very tight stuff here at the top of the grid.
Wow. Yeah, good spot. That is mighty close indeed. Big Ben is on a fast lap currently, and you can see that the track will be warming up just nicely now for these hot laps towards the end. See whether or not they're going to come out for two, or even just risk having the minimum fuel and going for just that one hot lap. Stay as light as possible, and he's give it some there, Big Ben, in fairness to him. And he might have just invalidated. He did. He climbed over the side of the apex there. The tyres have passed through the side of the line. That's not going to be a good one for him. Jay Wills has done the same. Oh no. So none of them at the top are going to improve, unless, of course, they've got enough fuel to go back out again. Jay Wills certainly looks like he's going to. He's got the ERS there. He's invalidated. No, it's not. No, he's not. He is not invalidated this time. So Jay Wills. Yeah, I think Ryan Mills getting right out the way to make sure there's no tow there. Not silly, Ryan. I don't blame him one bit for getting out of Jay Wills' way. He's only going to help him up that long straight towards the first turn of turn 1. Stays nice and close and straight back on the gas towards turn 3 and heading uphill. Little chink right, but isn't classed as a corner, and then left into sector 3. You saw the little white line on the floor there to indicate so. Stay on the inside, but do not touch in turn 5, heading towards turn 6. It's quite a straight corner this. If you get the right angle, you can keep quite a lot of pace through them too. That little chicane there of 6 and 7. Again, this is just about management and corner management, sweeping rights and lefts, and just getting the pace through them. You can again carry quite a lot of pace, as you've just seen Jay Wills do, staying in quite high gear right the way through that corner, maintain as much pace as possible, and then down to the final 2 corners now. Sweeping turn 13. And he's going to pop himself back in the pits. Alright, so it wasn't good enough for Jay Wills to feel like he was going to better his time. It's going to take some lap to do that, by the way. Ryan Mills also seeing the pits as the best option. Big Ben has invalidated. Going down the pack even further. Gautier Lefalon. Can he beat it again? Yes, he does. Gautier Lefalon with a 1:15.039. What a lap from Gautier with 47s left. Yeah, what was that look like?
He looked very, very clean. He was actually down in the first sector in comparison to his fastest lap time, and he's pretty much even in the middle sector, so he's made all of that time up in that last little sector there. It's only 3 corners, and he's made so much time to propel himself up into second position. It looks like, I'd say, the only people who can really try and catch him now is Mr. Squiddo, as P3, P4 and P5 have all retired from the session. Mr. Squiddo's actually invalidated his lap, and he's managed to save up enough ERS to go round for one more if he can just about cross the line before this session ends. I think he's just going to have enough time to do it. Yes, he is. He's going to cross the line and just about start another lap.
So Mr. Squid on his way round. The Ghost Angel 1, can he improve? He's just swinging around the final corner. Turn 14, nice and close. Straight down, yeah, take as much of that road as you can. Try and keep as much pace as you can, and he will not improve, I'm afraid. So we're going to jump back up to Mr. Squiddo. In fact, no, he won't. Who's coming around these final corners? That would be Gautier Lefalon. He's going to come back into the pits, however. There's a racing point behind him. Is that Wild Dog? No, it's not. It's JB Bowie. JB Bowie coming around the final corner. He isn't invalidated his lap, but can he better himself? 3 laps on the softs? No, he can't. Unfortunately, he stayed out to see what he can do. So let's jump on board with Mr. Squiddo. That's what's happened to Mr. Squiddo. He's lost it in turn 5, trying to put it all in, to try and improve his lap. It's on the fresh softs. Unfortunately, he's pushed it that little bit too hard, and that was the outcome. Hedgehog coming around the final corner. He's going to pop it in the pits. That's done. So I think it's fair to say that we're all done. As Jay Wills is going to be our race starting in pole with a 1:14.6, the only sub 15, 1:15 on track. Gautier in second, Ryan Mills third, Big Ben in fourth, Sniper Boy Hart in 5th position. Mr. Squid unfortunately couldn't better himself in 6th there. Murphy put himself 7, Wild Dog 8, Hedgehog 9, Mazzles 10. Then we've got Ghost Angel 1, JB Bowie, Reverend Melvin, Golden Wolf in for, as I say, JJ Cod Vickers for the McLarens today. MUC Harvey with a 117. Greg's Gaming Centre can't better his. He's going to be 117.4 also. So 16th. Ooh, nearly seen Mr. Squido messing about there. Nearly put his... things nearly went wrong. This is not the most glamorous way to finish the session. Greg's Gaming Centre, Mean Man Moody, Missy Joy Joy, and Crash, he's not managed to... Oh, no, he couldn't put a time down. My apologies. Do I think he could? Yeah, he had a qualifying bank crash. So that is why he has not put a time down. Right. We're done. You've obviously told me pre to this race that you've been watching the Corn Racing Academy, and obviously a big fan of the Corn Racing Academy, so we're so happy and thankful to get people watching every week. Who've you had your eyes on? I know that you said that you've got you're personally quite close with a couple of the drivers. Friends with Hedgehog, was it one of them that you'd mentioned?
Yeah. Friends with Hedgehog and Greg as well, who's currently sitting in P16 in the Haas. But it's been a really tight championship this year. There's some absolutely brilliant racing that's been going on. It's become part of my Monday night ritual, to be fair. Watching this race, it's been absolutely brilliant.
Spawn, thank you very much. Always welcomed. Just have a little jump in the chat for me, please, if you don't mind. And just let me know if there's anything going down. Is any...
nothing much going on for the last 10 minutes. Daniel Collier says hello. Connor Vercasey? Is that how you say it?
That's Crash Gaming.
He was talking about an issue with Missy Joy Joy that was on in previous races. I've actually had a few requests to turn up my mic, so that's what I'm going to do now. If you could just take over for me there.
Yeah, of course, no problem. No problem. Hopefully the mic should be alright now. Someone let me know if I'm too loud, or... It's so strange with the input. Let me just have a quick look. Forgive me a second, just into the party chat. Party audio, right. See, the problem is if I switch it towards more party audio, we're going to lose the engine sounds completely, and it's just going to be myself and the little one speaking with no input from the actual cars.
That sounds a lot better for the stream.
Let's hope so, because that's what you're getting. So while we wait, Constructors Championships, we'll do it the normal sort of top of the pop style. So in number 10, Haas with 604. Ninth place is the Red Bull with 865. McLaren 879. Renault 909. In sixth, the Williams with a 928. AlphaTauri with 996. And then things get a little bit closer with Ferrari on 1,026 points. Alfa Romeo 1,057 points. Racing Point has gone into second now with 1,131. Decent performances from them recently have got them with a little bit of a chase towards the Mercedes. 1,318. So Mercedes again from doing bits earlier in the season, as we said on the stream. It looks like they've continued to do so. So it's now bits and bobs and more so. So flying. So hopefully there's no echo that we're hearing there. Don't worry about it anyway. It should be all right. But please, anybody, let us know if we can keep getting the sound right. It can fluctuate a little bit on the streams, and we apologise.
Yeah, it's first time for me streaming, so I'll be happy to take any criticism for any audio levels. I'll be happy to change that if needed be. So also one standout point for me for the constructors is Racing Point. Obviously, you said that they were there with 1,131 points. Interestingly enough, they were more or less bottom of the pack after around about 3 races. So the races in between, I think it's 9 races, they've managed to claw back a load of points and found themselves sitting pretty in P2 in the Constructors' Championship. So it's been a really good season for them so far, coming back from the bottom of the pack.
Yeah, great shout. I think they might owe a few of them points to JB Bowie. Wild Dog K9 as well with him, but JB Bowie was second last week in France. He's currently sat in the 6th place in the championship, so he'll have definitely added to the points tally, so well done him. Just watching them come around the final corner and set up on the grid. Another previous race winner around here, I think Camiliano's no longer in any of the tiers. There was someone else as well, but we have our very own CRL Panda, Mr. Panda Man with his Panda Ones. He was a previous winner around this track. Shout out to Mr. Panda if he's there. Hello, sir.
Yep, I've just been told just before the race starts that my audio is perfect, so thankfully that's all been sorted out before the race.
Beautiful. So the lights are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and are we away? There's a bit of stalling, but we are away. So it looks like the front 2, 3, 4 have all got away cleanly. Just going to jump on board so I can have a little bit of a look. There's all sorts of cars ghosted. I don't know why that is. Let's have a little look at the front corner. So there's been a contact. The Racing Point's gone back in to the Williams. It's also the AlphaTauri that suffered on the inside there of Mishi Joy, was it, that's been caught up in there. Unfortunately, he has Racing Point really struggling. MFC Javi up 12 places, is that right? He's had a start to
Ghost Angel 1's retired as well. Straight
no.
out at the first corner.
Virtual safety
really
car.
Good qualifying as well for the German in P11th to P11 to begin the race, and now he's retired before he even gets to the second corner. I actually had a really good view of that crash while I was on board with Hedgehog coming down to turn 1. It's a little bit of a kerfuffle into turn 1, and luckily Hedgehog just managed to dive out of the way, making sure that he had no contact whatsoever.
So forgive me as I try and make my way around the track and try and catch up with that initial bedlam as usual. But Jay Wills is at the front of the race. Ryan Mills in second, Gautier in third now. So Ryan made a move on Gautier in that first little section. Sniper Boy also jumped above Big Ben. Squiddo and Murphy in situ. MUFC Harvey has had a launch just of dreams. I've just seen a drive-through penalty for Jay Wills, by the way, our race leader. What happened there? That virtual safety car went off. I can only imagine that. Whoa! That looks like a Ferrari. Who was it?
Mr. Squiddo's gone round. Yeah, Mr. Squiddo's gone round. Couldn't quite see what happened there, but coming just before the final corner, he was facing the wrong way, unfortunately, and that's going to stick him right at the back of the pack. It looks like he's coming into the pit lane, as well as Wild Dog in the Racing Point, and also Mishi Joy and Mean Man Moody have picked up 2 5-second penalties for it must be a bit of contact on that virtual safety car.
Yeah, we're just having a little look at Big Ben and Sniper Boy that are having an unbelievable little battle here. They've just swapped places 2 or 3 times, trying to push it as hard as they can. I would imagine that Sniper Boy might have very well pushed a bit too hard there. He might have been over the curb, so may have had a warning, but we don't know that. It won't show us unless they get 3 warnings, and 3 warnings equals a penalty. Time penalty of 3 seconds, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, it looks like Wild Dog and Mr. Squiddo, after coming into the pits at the end of the first lap, they've both gone onto the medium tyres, so they'll definitely be able to they'll definitely have to make another stop in this Grand Prix, not trying to stretch that out in the hards. I don't think that's possible, is it, for this Grand Prix, stretching most of the race on the hards?
It would be a big ask. I think you'd lose too much pace towards the end for it to be a realistic. I mean, I wouldn't say any reason. Soft, hard, soft, maybe. Soft, medium, medium, even. I think we'll probably do
possibly.
it. Soft, medium, soft, out of the equation. No, actually, soft, medium, soft would probably be all right. After lap 3, though, he's going to be asking a lot. But we'll see. So Mazzles right up the back end of MUFC Harvey. Currently Sniper Boy goes into the pits, so Sniper Boy potentially getting some wing damage there. Missy Joy has got a penalty as well. Just trying to stay on board with these two currently. At the front, Jay Wills gets himself a 2.2 second lead in front of Gautier Fallon in third. Big Ben closing the gap. We'll jump on with Big Ben for a second and have a little look here and see what's going down. He's catching the Haas of Gautier Fallon. Gautier losing that spot early does, but I think he's climbed back up a little bit. Crash Gaming getting a 3-second penalty. What's happened on track? Go for it.
There, but there's a bit of a lag spike going on from Crash Gaming. It looked like he lost the car through turn 4, which it turns out that he didn't do. That was just lag. And Golden Wolf thought that Crash Gaming has gone off, so he's slowed down, and JB Bowie has capitalised on that and overtaken Golden Wolf, and so has Reverend Malvin. He's also overtaken Golden Wolf, so he's dropped 2 positions in just one sector from a little bit of lag from Crash Gaming. He's lagging all over the place, so it'd be very interesting to see what JB Bowie does to try and get past that Ferrari.
Lovely, Juan. Thank you very much. MUFC Harvey has been stalked by Mazzles. He's got to look all over his back end. There's just not much of a chance for him to start defending this. He's trying his very best. He's on the mediums with Mazzles on the softs. I would imagine he's going to have a little bit more grip coming around this corner, and he'll take that position quite nicely. And does Hedgehog. Did he fly back there a little bit? Hey, it looked like he struggled around that first corner. MUFC Harvey in 6th. Very, very close again to Mazzles just sits behind him. Gautier left alone. Is he making some headway there, or is he going back over? Looks like he's just starting to fall back a little bit further behind Big Ben, but as you can see on track, there's a lot going on. Crash Gaming drops a position. Is he close, currently having a fight with someone? Yes, he is. There's three on track.
Battle going on.
Whoa, Crash Gaming I think's broke.
Yeah, I was watching it from Golden Wolf's perspective. Jay Wills came out of the pits after serving his drive-through penalty, and he kind of got into the mix of that Reverend Malvin Crash Gaming Golden Wolf battle. And Golden Wolf unfortunately went quite wide during turn 2, which allowed Jay Wills to capitalise on that, and then it's all spiralled from there. It's a really tasty battle to watch, this one.
Thank you so much. The Jay Wills, you can see, getting caught in the middle of quite a lot of this, so he needs to be quite careful. Sometimes when he's chose to, well, he's had to come in, hasn't he? So because that's happened so early in the race, he's got a lot of work to do now to get around this traffic and be smooth in the process. Ryan Mills has come into the pits after 5 laps, so he looks like he's going to do the 2-stop and go for that. As it happens, Ryan Mills and Jay Wills have done the 2-stop before, but it didn't pay dividends last time they did it. In fact, was that last race? Was that in France? I think it might have been, because Jay Wills came in 5th, Big Ben 7th, Ryan Mills 3rd, I think he got up to. It might have been last race, forgive me if I'm wrong.
Just watching an attack by Jay Wills around the outside of Reverend Malvin into turn 2. He does have the soft tyres in comparison to Reverend Malvin's hards on the Williams car, and he's gone right around the outside of turn 2, which then turns to the inside for turn 3. A very, very clean overtake for the Mercedes driver at the top of the championship standings currently. Very clean overtake from him. He was getting quite stuck behind Reverend Malvin for the last half of lap 4, but it's good to see that he's made a nice clean overtake past the Williams to put himself into fresh air and hunt down JB Bowie now.
Perfect. Ryan Mills, our current championship leader, 279 points with Jay Wills behind him. He is currently in P13, but he's got the hards on, and I think now that he's coming on the 5th lap, he may try and see this full race out, but I imagine he's going to go soft, hard, soft, I guess, rather than soft, medium, soft, maybe? Is that do you reckon? Looking at the soft, I would imagine it's sort of 7 or 8 laps per stint. And then the mediums would have seen you out the rest. I think it was 20 laps to make it up to the 35. Yeah, 8 and 7 being 15, so that would be right. Yeah, about 20 on the hards. So we'll see what he's doing. I mean, he's got a good launch there against Michi Joy, and he takes his 11th position. AlphaTauri's come out the pits and gone right alongside him in that first turn, sent him out wide. Oof. He's managed to get the job done round Big Ben, but that would have cost him a little bit. Certainly a little bit of cost of flow. Higher up in the track, let's have a little look at these boys at the front, because Mazzles is currently in P3. He's right behind Murphy, that's currently riding in P2. Let's go on to the positional change. We'll go to stops, tyres, and let's have a look at tyres. There we go. All of the everybody on 5 laps. Ryan Mills on 0 laps of hards and coming in already for that. So maybe he picked up a little bit of wing damage in there. MUFC Harvey also on 0 laps of hards, and both of them have gone for the hard strategy. Sniper Boy have obviously had to come in early doors. Unfortunately for him, he went on the medium, so he might be saying a medium strategy. Potentially Sniper Boy at the bottom of the screen there with a 3-second time penalty. Unfortunate for him, and that might come into play later on. But he's got to remember that he started really well. He's got good pace around here. I don't think he needs to rush. I don't think he needs to push it as hard. Sorry, I'm just going to jump. I have jumped on board with Ryan Mills. Go for it.
Ryan Mills just going around the outside of Greg and Big Ben there. Ryan went down the inside of turn 12 and managed to hold it around the outside of turn 13 on the Haas driver, and Greg unfortunately got a tiny snap of oversteer out of the penultimate corner, which allowed Big Ben to follow through. I think that's going to be very pivotal for their race to make that overtake at this point in the Grand Prix. Also seeing Hedgehog, he's come out of the pits. I do believe he started on the medium tyres. He's gone onto the hards, so maybe he's trying to push for a one-stop strategy in this Grand Prix. I've been speaking to him for a little bit of time now, and I know that he's really pushing for a podium finish. He hasn't had one for ages, so maybe this might be the strategy to pull that podium off.
I hope so. Nice lad, Hedgehog. Yeah, I've spoken to him on a few occasions as well. he deserves it. He's pushing for it. He did get one earlier on in the season. I think I put it in the chat earlier, but I can't remember if he replied or not, or I might not have seen it if he did. But from my records, when I went back, I can see that he got one in Baku, I think it was, on race 5. And I'm not too sure if he's done it since, to be honest. So if that's the case, then he's well overdue. As I say, Hedgehog, just to show you, by the way, how consistent, I guess, he is. He's been in the top 10 at pretty much every single race. He fluctuates between sort of 4th. I've seen a few 4ths, 5th, 6th, and 8 in there. It might have even been 7 as well. I'm not sure if he's even done the full lot. Last round he was 9, so he might have been pretty much 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 since having his podium. But he's 4th in the championship on 200 points, only 79 points behind the current championship leader. So I think that's testament to Hedgehog, really. I think he's done a good job there to put himself up there with, still in the mix, really. But there's a lot to ask now. 80 points, that means 2 race wins, with Ryan Mills and J Wills not really doing much in them, and we've only got 3 left to go. So realistic, is the championship out of the equation now? Are we looking at Ryan Mills and J Wills? Is it one of them two that are going to be our championship winner?
Yeah, I do
you
believe
reckon
it is. Yeah. Definitely. I've also just been watching Gautier Le Fallon. He's on completely fresh medium tyres. He had a very clean overtake. Ooh, very interesting line there through the chicane. He had a very clean overtake on Mishi Joy down the home straight. He's ran out of ERS now, and he's got a move on Greg. I don't know whether that's some team orders, as Gautier Le Fallon has the fresher tyres. But that was a clean overtake after he made that little mistake into the chicane. So 2 overtakes in 1 lap for Gautier Le Fallon. Now he's going to be chasing down Golden Wolf in 7th position.
We'll jump on board with Golden Wolf because he's behind Big Ben. He's just less than a second now, so along the opening straight he's going to get his DRS open. But the fact that there's a bit of a train going on there, I don't think it's going to benefit him too much. Big Ben, he stayed out. Who just came in the pits? Was it Ryan Mills? It was J Wills, sorry. Ryan Mills goes for a sweep in. He goes for the outside line around the first corner. That's a lovely little effort at Reverend Melvin. Is he going to get it done? He's on the inside, and I think he's going to hold it. And Reverend Melvin tucks back inside around that corner. Probably a wise move, to be honest. Just let him allow them to get the move done. He had the pace, but is it going to cost him? Because Big Ben is also now on his outside. Will stay in this review cam, and Reverend Melvin backs out. Probably a wise choice going into there. Those side by side might have not ended pretty. Kudos to Big Ben, though. He stayed really wide on the turn, even taking himself off track to make sure that he give Reverend Melvin the chance to get through there by his side like that. That's good racing by him. Fair play. Love that. JB Bowie in second currently on 8 laps of mediums. He's got a penalty though, and 5 seconds behind. So Big Ben and Ryan Mills is the sort of the best race on track at the moment. I mean, all right, let's have a quick jump. Did I get here in time? No, I didn't quite need to get there in time. I just saw that there was only 2 tenths between J Rills and Crash Gaiman, who'll be having a good look at him. But is Crash going to defend? Is he going to let him through? Oh, Crash is mad. He's gone.
Crash makes a mistake.
He's hit the wall.
He allows J Wills through. I think Crash has managed to get the car going once again. Is he going to hold position? I'm not quite sure, but he must have damage from that. So we must keep an eye on J Wills on fresh hards, fighting back through the pack once again. But look at Hedgehog. We've just been speaking about him, and I think they're going to be evens on tyre wear throughout this race, and Hedgehog's managed to come out in front of J Wills, so that's going to be an interesting one as he makes the overtake down the inside of Mean Man Moody coming into turn 1. Is he going to make it stick? He's giving him a lot of room on that outside. Very courteous from Hedgehog. Let's just check behind. Yes, he has. He's made the move stick down into T2, and that is Hedgehog up into 11th place.
Superb by Hedgehog. That's he got the move done while you were talking. Go on.
I was just jumped on board with him. He goes around the outside of Mean Man Moody into turn 4, but coming out of turn 3, he went wide and picked up a 3-second time penalty. Unfortunate for J Wills there, but he did get the overtake on Mean Man Moody around the outside of turn 4. That was very, very juicy move, that one.
Nightmare indeed for them, or whoever his victim was. Sorry, I missed that. I was too busy on board with Ryan Mills, just having a little look at him. I noticed he's gone 4 laps of hards, so I think Big Ben is managing to fight him at the moment. DRS is open, so Ryan Mills might have a chance to get at him on the straight, but I don't think he's going to get a chance to get it done. He's just not getting the launch out the previous corner high enough or well enough just yet. So I think that they'll be on, as I say, different strategies though. Big Ben on these mediums, I think he'll probably only get away with one more stop though from here, so it's whether or not he goes for softs or mediums. when he finally has to come in. I would imagine sort of 12 laps or so, he'll get out them. So another 8 laps, 19, 20, 15 laps needed. He'll go with another set of mediums, I would have thought, to finish this race off. So he'll get 2 lots of mediums and split the difference between what's left. Whereas Ryan Mills, I think with him on the hard, currently on 5 laps through hards, I reckon he might jump onto the softs later on in the track, if he doesn't try and take the whole thing on. But if he needs to, he can get on those softs later on and have that injection of pace. So there's a few different strategies going on around the track. As we saw Murphy, he's currently P8, he's got a penalty, and we can see these penalties now from 8th position down start racking up a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of 3-second time penalties in there. Mean Man Moody's carrying 8 seconds of time penalties. I do believe 5 of those seconds were for an incident on the first lap under the virtual safety car, and then 3 more were for corner cutting. But just to jump back onto the tyre strategy, JB Bowie and Reverend Malvin still yet to stop, as well as Golden Wolf. So 3 of the top 6 still yet to make a pit stop in this Grand Prix. It's going to be very interesting at the end of this race.
Yeah, that is interesting indeed, that they might be going for the hard medium maybe, to try and see out. Yeah, I think so. Maybe in hard soft might be doable here. We shall see. Again, it's about 8 laps, I would say. 8, 9, 10 laps. Maybe, actually 8 or 9 I would have thought on a soft. You'd maybe get a little bit extra out of them. 9 I would think on fresh tyres, because you've not had to qualify in them, and they normally get 7 or 8 from there. So yeah, give or take, depends how you manage your tyres and whether you can leak those extra couple of laps out.
The only one from those guys who hasn't come into the pits on the hard tyres is Reverend Malvin. JB Bowie and Golden Wolf are both on the mediums, so it'll be very interesting to see if I don't think they'll be able to go onto the soft, so they must be going for medium hard. But Reverend Malvin could still quite possibly go from hard to soft at the end of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's all about the strategy of this race. You can see that there's different strategies going on all over the place. However, if you do look on the left-hand side of our screens, we can see that everybody is either medium or hard now. So nobody is on the soft strategy at this stage in the race. Which you would imagine, I suppose. It is a bit of a tyre shredder, this one.
Yeah, definitely.
Hedgehog on 4 laps of hards against Greg's Gaming Centre in front. So they're mates, are they?
No, I just know them individually.
Oh, you know them? Okay.
They do talk a bit on Twitter as well, so very friendly, us 3. Good mates, yeah.
Good, that's good. Good to see him. Just seeing whether or not he's going to dive inside his mate going into the start of turn 1. He has done, and he's made it stick. Fair play to Greg's. He's probably just given him a little bit more space on the inside there. Might have known who it was behind him. I imagine if it was someone else, they might not have been given so much grace around there. But fair play to the boy. Also, Hedgehog gets away realistically. He's maybe got a little bit more pace as the mediums of Greg's game start to wilter a little bit, and he'll probably jump in soon. Hedgehog with a more realistic opportunity for higher on the positions at the end of the race as well. So Mazzles, well done him. He's out on the second laps of hards. Big shout out to Mazzles because he is in P6 without a single penalty. Gautier as well, Ryan Mills as well, occupying people without a penalty. Missy Jojo and Crash, by the way, further down the track, aren't getting penalties either, so fair play, lads. Everybody really who's done that, because it is one of them tracks where it's that fast. And Crash is retired from the session. Is that a problem? Is that on track, or is he gone in the pit? It looks like he's gone in the pits, Crash.
Yeah, and he's just peeled into the pits there.
He's called it a day. I also think there was a blue car, and I'm not sure if that was... Who is that? That is Missy Joy Joy. I've just noticed on turn number 5, it looked like he'd had a bit of a wobble, had a slight little problem with the car, but he's fine now. So JB Bowie currently at the front. Big Ben tucked in behind him, only 3/10 behind him. And with those fresher tyres, you would imagine he has a good chance of getting past JB Bowie. Ryan Mills sat in a pretty nice position as he is behind them, just ticking away there nicely. Gautier Lefalon showing in qualifying today, even more so that he deserves to be up there battling with the rest. Again, Gautier Lefalon finishing 6th last week, and currently he's 9th in the championship on 120 points. But as I say, Mazzle's ahead of him on 121, Sniper Boy on 122, JB Bowie on 127, Murphy on 135. So only 15 points splits 9th and 5th. So with that being so close in the championship, that could all be rearranged today, just like it has been from last week, to be perfectly honest. There seems to be some jockeying around, and it's never fixed the championship table, which is a good thing. Keeps it nice and spicy. Big Ben.
Just watching Big Ben here in P2. He's going around the outside of JB Bowie. A slight lock up on the front right hand side of his car. Don't know whether there was any contact there or not. I couldn't quite see, but he's been stuck behind JB Bowie for a number of laps now. JB Bowie has medium tyres, which are 6 laps older than Big Ben's. He's been really stuck behind the gearbox of Big Ben, especially through sectors 1 and 2. 1 and 3, and in sector 2 JB Bowie seems to have the legs on some of these guys, so maybe he's got a more high downforce setup.
It's certainly fair to say so, because Sector 2 certainly has the most corners of this track. Sector 3 with 1, 2, 3 corners in total. Sector 1 with 1, 2, 3 corners also. So it's not... yeah, you're right, it's not much. It's certainly going to be more wearing and more twisting and turning, as you see. A few of them not coming around this section. Let me just jump on track with them all. At the front of which, Golden Wolf. In behind him, as we jump on board with him, Murphy. Jump to Murphy has Sniper Boy. Behind him, behind Sniper Boy is J. Wills, trying to get back up, and behind the... as high up the points as he can, really, because he doesn't want to foul any further behind Ryan Mills. But Ryan Mills, of course, has to come in the pits, but he is only 2/10 behind JB Bowie. Is he going to get it done? On the opening straight, JB Bowie takes the inside line, wants to make sure he's got the inside line. Did so last time. And he's held them both well. So he's just tucked in behind JB Bowie. JB Bowie made it stick. It looks like Hedgehog got in front of Mr. Squeedo. Can you report on that? What happened there, Juan?
Yeah, I was just flicking through, and Golden Wolf, unfortunately, he's lost it coming out of turn 12, and he was facing the wrong way, and all of these cars were just piling past him, and he had nowhere to manage to get back onto the track. He's got a 5-second penalty to put salt into the wounds after coming in for a pit stop for a change of front wing. He's got that penalty for speeding, and that's going to drop him right down, more or less, to the bottom of the pack, I do believe. I think he's going to come out in 16th place, as Missy Joy is quite far away behind him. But that's a proper killer for Golden Wolf's race there. He was in a solid position as well, the lone McLaren in this Grand Prix.
Mr. Squeedo with another penalty there. So last week's winner not having today the way that he would have liked it. 13 laps through on the medium's going to have to come in. Things aren't going well today for him in P11 currently. Ryan Mills gets another chance now at the opening straight. Will JB Bowie be able to defend this time? Surely not. But he's run out of VRS, Ryan Mills. He's been trying a hell of a lot. There's some fantastic defensive work, really, by the racing point of JB Bowie. I can't knock him one bit. He's managed to hold that again, making Ryan Mills go around the outside. So these two, superb. Obviously, he's on the mediums against Mills's hards. That's going to make a difference. And he managed to stay alongside him, going down that sweeping left-hander of turn 2, and give him plenty of room there on there, turn 3. Brilliant driving again. Sometimes I watch these races and really don't believe it's the academy. Really is some incredible driving week in, week out.
Bit of contact further down the back. Sorry to interrupt there.
What's happening?
Jay Wills looks like he's starting to get a little bit frustrated, stuck behind Murphy. And there's a bit of afters there. More contact between Murphy and Jay Wills as Murphy's cutting back through the pack. He tried to overtake the Alfa Romeo down the inside of turn 2, broke a little bit too late and couldn't complete the move halfway through round the corner and squeezed Murphy off. So I'm not quite sure what happened with that second incident between those two, but it's getting a little frosty between those two around the Hungaroring this evening.
Yeah, I think Jay Will's just having a look all over the back of Murphy to see where he can get by, but it's just not happening in further at the moment. He's going to have a launch now. He keeps backing out. Yeah, a second ago, I think what happened was, I think Jay Wills went off track and he came back on at the bottom of the hill after turn 3. From what I saw, anyway, forgive me if I'm wrong. But it looked like he'd come back on the track, and Murphy was obviously taking a lot more pace at the time, and I think he bumped into the back of Jay Wills and sent him back off track, and that was what happened. But you can see Jay Wills, and boof, see you later, gets the overtake out, and the overtake gets done pretty easy down the opening straight. Murphy with a little bit of a narrower turn there. I'm not sure that was the right line.
Some yellow flags in sector 2. I just caught the back end of that. It looked like Golden Wolf, who was having a really solid race until his spin at turn 12. He's now lost it once again, at turn 5 on that inside curb, I do believe. Didn't quite see the beginning of the incident, but that curb on the inside of turn 5 is an absolute killer. And now I've just seen raindrops on the chassis of Golden Wolf, so that's really going to spice this race up. About halfway through, the rain has started to fall, so it'll be interesting to see what some of these guys in the lead are going to do. Maybe that's what some of those one-stoppers were trying to do, extend their tyres to that rain period. But unfortunately for Golden Wolf, his race has just gone from bad to worse, unfortunately for him. See if he can pick some more stuff up during this dry to wet period.
Superb one. So we're on with Sniper Boy Hart in P6. It looks like Reverend Melvin's going to already come into the pits. Is he going to make that change early? He's on the hards. You would have thought he might have just held out. I mean, he's 17 laps on the hards, in fairness to him. Maybe it was the right time to change anyway, but would you maybe drag another lap out before you come on these intermediates? Or is he going to just go for it? Or is this as worse as the weather's going to get? Not normally on this game. But can you believe it? I mean, you were saying about what people would do at this point in the race. If I'm being dead honest, I would probably pull to the side of the track, or put it. I would probably pull in the pits at this point and have a little cry at myself and understand that the race is soon about to come to an end. I'm not good on wets. I'm determined to put the practice in though, and that is what I am absolutely determined to do, is to get faster on wets and have a few time trials on wets, because I tend not to do it, and then I get punished for it. The other night especially, I was on a TT setup. Go
Hedgehog and Mr. Squeedo. Little coming together there through turn 4. Looks like Mr. Squiddo's going to let Hedgehog back through. Very sportsmanlike from him. Coming through turn 4, Hedgehog got a little wayward. I think this wet weather is starting to catch a few of these drivers out, and Mr. Squiddo just had extreme pace in comparison to the Renault. He's ploughed right into the back of him, and Hedgehog's gone straight into the wall on the left-hand side, but through turn 5, Mr. Squiddo nearly dropped it himself and then decided to let Hedgehog through, so very sportsmanlike from him.
Yeah, just looking back at the wing of Mr. Squiddo to see if he has much damage. Doesn't look too bad off the images that we're seeing here on the stream, although the wing's currently the way. It looks like he's wobbling around a little bit.
End plate damage on the front left.
Oh dear.
So I think that must have been from that incident.
Potentially so.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be a good idea to not change that front wing, especially around this track. They call it Monaco without the barriers, and you can definitely see why, especially in Sector 2 with all of those corners. He's just been overtaken by Mr. Squiddo, but he's fighting back down the inside. A nice little switchback move, but it looks like Mr. Squiddo's got the DRS and the overspeed down into turn 3, and he's also got the fresher tyres, so he's going to hold on to that P9 position.
So the rain is extremely light. From what we can see, it's so much so that I'm not entirely sure they even will need the intermediates as yet. You can't see anybody that's come in for them. After 20 laps of 35, I mean, you normally see a transition of weathering quite quick on this game. It's sort of accelerated from normal scenarios in everyday life. So when it's accelerated as per time, you generally find that it can go from spitting to full torrential to lightning and full wets in seemingly about a minute and a half. But it seems to be holding off here a little bit. Still on board with Mr. Squeedo, but I imagine at the end of this lap, he's going to be the lap that the Red Bull pulls back into the pits and gets changed. But again, there'll be a few of them thinking at this moment in time whether or not they want to come in or whether they want to wait to see what this weather is going to do to potentially make a decision on what to change the tyres to. You wouldn't want to come in twice for the sake of an extra lap, and I was right. Mr. Squeedo's decided to stay out again. He's gone 17 laps on the mediums. On the mediums he stayed out. Hedgehog staying out 12 laps of hards. I mean, that makes sense. What's happened?
Golden Wolf has dropped it at turn 5 once again on the hard tyres. Oh, it's just going from bad to worse for him this evening, unfortunately. Yeah, he's lost it again at turn 5. It's got to be that inside curve.
Oh, dear me. Did he just affect Gautier Lafallon? That looked like Gautier had come to a full stop there. Hopefully Gautier didn't take any damage from that, but was he being... he might have been overtaken, so it might have been a ghost. Hopefully it was a ghost to him.
Yeah, it was. I think it'd be a blue flag situation, as Golden Wolf is firmly at the bottom of this pack. I didn't see any contact from my screen, so fingers crossed. Gautier Lafallon, who's currently running in P3. Brilliant race from the Frenchman there in the Haas car. Oh, and Mr. Golden Wolf's gone again. Oh no, at turn 12. He's just managed to keep it out the barrier though, so I think this wet weather is definitely going to turn to intermediates pretty soon. I'm starting to be a little suspicious of whether it was going to be a bit like our race in Tier 2 last time out in France, the original race that was, where we were going to start on the dry tyres in the wet conditions.
Yeah, sometimes if it is quite light, you're sort of forced to do it, or the sort of wet tyres aren't available because the track's not deemed wet enough to warrant them. But yeah, quite often you tend to find that people will come out for a lap or two tops and then have to go in once the rain starts settling on the track. Hope that we don't lose anyone over this lap or two, though. It looks like the Haas in. Where is it?
Yeah,
where are they?
Change for intermediates now.
Yeah, it's Greg Skim.
Guys coming in, and unfortunately, Golden Wolf has called it quits for tonight after a torrid second half of his race. Yeah, he's called it quits for tonight, and just watching Sniper Boy, he's come out onto the intermediate tyres, and if Reverend Melvin, just think if he'd managed to hold onto those mediums just 2 or 3 laps more, and he would have gone straight onto the intermediate tyres. That would have been a brilliant strategy call. Yeah,
he would have definitely benefited from that. Unfortunately, he's going to have to go back into the pits at this point. He had a big decision to make. It was either lose it. I mean, maybe at this point, it depends on the confidence. You've got to bear in mind these are academy drivers, and sometimes it might just be that they prefer to be in the race rather than sort of spinning out and hitting walls and damaging the cars, etc. If they don't aren't confident enough on the worn tyres. But Gautier comes and swings himself into the pits. He's 10 seconds behind Ryan Mills, who's also in the pits. Big Ben, who's also in the pits. There's the AlphaTauri putting the intermediates on. Ryan Mills behind, putting the intermediates on. Gautier comes in to put the intermediates on. Mazzles is doing the same. They're all doing the same now. Jay Wills in behind them, having a bit of a wobble round on the hards behind. JB Bowie does the same again. So intermediates of Sniper Boy coming round turn 13, and then the swinging right-hander, uphill right-hander, turn 14, before in third, and he gets up there, uses all of the gear available to him, and he's got plenty of overtaking. The ERS is looking very good for Sniper, actually, and he's just jumped right up to P4 and comes out behind Mishi Joy Joy. No, he shouldn't do. Oh, Mishi Joy Joy's further down the pack, so he's just getting lapped. Currently, Mazzles has gone around turn 1, going downhill towards turn 2, further downhill around the sweeping left-hander of turn 3. You can see just how much these lads are now slowing right down for this, by the way. So it's changed the whole dynamics of the track. It's quite hard to be driving at that pace, and then to come down to this type of pace from that is really tough and hard to adjust. So we'll see if this does affect any of the cars on the track. I just bit my lip somehow.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers sitting on a lot of ERS actually, especially Mazzles. Jay Wills is on 100%. JB Bowie's on 100%. Murphy's on 82. Squiddo is on 57. But these guys sitting on a lot of ERS, maybe waiting for the perfect time to strike. They're obviously within 2 seconds of each other. Oh, there's a car off there. I think that's a Red Bull.
Mr. Squiddo, he's had some problems. Looks like he's come round turn number 5, and he has ran into problems, and he's losing that back end all over the shop. As he's got winged out, and he's gone off to the side. Oh dear, last week's winner, Mr. Squiddo, finally got himself on the top 10 in the championship, demoting El Wyatt this week. But unfortunately, things have, they're not looking too pretty at the moment. He's in P12. He only needs to be P15, so at the moment, he just needs to finish the race. At the moment, there's only one person not going to score points today, so it's worth staying out, because the last person currently is 59 seconds behind even the next car on. So Mishy's got a lot to do from back there to see any change to his race. He's currently on the mediums as well, so I don't know what's going on back there for Mishy. He's jumping in. So yeah, I don't know if he'll end the race there or he'll come back out and have a go. I hope he comes back out and has a go.
I hope he doesn't end it there.
Yeah, I hope everybody does, to be perfectly honest with you. It's the whole point of the academy is to get better, and you only get better by driving. It's as simple as that. Time dedicated on track will pay its dividends eventually, and he's going to come back
in
up.
The pits as well as Mr. Squiddo. Sorry for jumping in there.
No, that's all right.
Mishy Joy Joy came into the pits, and just as Mr. Squiddo was coming in, I think he's going to serve a 5-second penalty for something earlier on in the Grand Prix. And it's just going from bad to worse. Fingers crossed it doesn't go as bad as what it did for Golden Wolf, unfortunately. But Mr. Squiddo dropped all the way down to P13 so far.
Yeah, it's not quite gone his way today. We've just seen, obviously, having to get the new wing as well. That's the front wing, so that's going to cost him time. Mazzles Well done, Mazzles. He's having a flyer. He's up there in P5, so he's doing really well. J Wills has to find 3 seconds on Mazzles. They've all just come out of the pits, so nice and fresh on those intermediate tyres. The first lap out on track tends to not be very sharp. You need to be managing getting a bit of heat in the tyres at least, but obviously difficult on a wet track with rain coming down. And obviously spray hitting those rears. So it just cools them down further. So let's have a look. We have
Reverend Malvin in P10. Looks like he's lining up an overtake on MUFC Harvey, but Harvey gets a better run out of the final corner, and it doesn't look like Reverend Malvin's going to be close enough to get down the inside. Unfortunately not, as Mazzles finally picks up his first penalty of the session, but I don't really think that's going to make too much of a difference, considering Jay Wills is 2 seconds behind him and also has a 3-second penalty, and Sniper Boy has a 12-second penalty, so that will provisionally demote him down to P6, I do believe.
Yeah, that's a big hit for Sniper Boy. I know that when he fell back early doors, he pushed really hard, and I think he collected a couple on his way there. Sort of two banks of 3 seconds. So over the race, sort of two lots is fairly common. But yeah, I think early doors, I think he'd maybe just tried that a little bit too hard to get to where he wanted to be on the track. But as you can see, Gautier Lefalon, the massive shout out to Gautier Lefalon, who is currently the only man on track who has managed to escape a penalty so far. I'm going to come back off the penalties.
DRS as well. He's got a 68% currently, and at the moment, every driver that finishes this Grand Prix will pick up a point, as Mishi Joy has called it time for this Hungarian Grand Prix. He's pulled into the pits and retired the car, unfortunately. I think he was roughly a minute or so behind Mean Man Moody in P15, so unfortunately he didn't feel like he could continue for this evening. But luckily for everyone else, on a brighter note, everyone who finishes this race will score some points. Yeah,
good. Yeah, all you need to do is get the car around now. It's easier said than done in the rain, I should know, but Reverend Melvin is the closest fight that's going on track, so we'll stay on board with him a second. It looks like he's had a couple of little goes at MUFC Harvey, actually. It looks like he might have a little bit more pace currently, so we shall stay on board a second and give him a chance to see whether or not he can get it done. Everybody being super careful now. The slightest little bit of error of judgment can, it can be fatal currently. So Reverend Melvin trying to get up behind MUFC Harvey. He's not quite getting that done currently. Just in towards 6 and 7. The sort of sharp right and left hand, as I say before. You can nick a little bit of those corners, but there's also some sausage rolls sticking on the top, and if you clip that roll in any way, shape or form, it will wobble the car all over the shop, and it'll just lose your pace. The problem with you wobbling as well is that if you've got the fronts turned and you even touch the power, sometimes if it's on the wrong side of that wobble and the weight shift of the car has gone to the anterior side, the front side of the car, the backs lose their grip a little bit and they can spin out very, very, very easily, certainly when there's some surface water. And MUFC Harvey manages to defend by Melvin. Still, he's doing a good job of defending this. He's doing a good job of keeping some pace, and of course there is no DRS, so ERS is going to come into the fore now. Looks like MUFC Harvey's tried to bleed some out to get a little bit of more space on Reverend, and I think he's got the job done. We're going to jump on board with Jay Wills. He's currently in P6. He's looking at Mazzles in P5. He has done for a few laps now, so I think Mazzles are still maintaining a good pace. I think a track like this, it becomes tougher and tougher to find the place to pass. Obviously, there's pretty much every corner and every straight on this is a perfect opportunity to get by people, and you normally expect overtakes here in Hungary. But when there's rain, it starts to become that little bit tougher to get the job done, and obviously stopping in time for the corner safely and maintaining some pace through it. And of course, the back end tends to have a little wobble from time to time. Reverend Melvin, is he going to get it done? No, it's just because they're close on track that they're close elsewhere. Where are you looking currently?
We've got an overtake. I was watching Sniper Boy. He was really chewing into Gautier Lefalon's gap between them. It was roughly about 2 seconds, I do believe, and he's clawed that back to between 6/10, but that's opened up a tiny bit as they closed up to blue flag runners of Greg's Game Centre and Mean Man Moody. So there was a battle at the front of the pack and a battle at the back of the pack at the same part of track. So that was quite interesting to watch, but luckily the drivers who had to let themselves pull to the side did so courteously and let these guys through and battle, and now Gautier Lefalon is pulling back that gap.
Lovely. And while you were talking, we saw Jay Wills get his job done on Mazzles on the opening straight there. They're both heading round to turn number 5 now and in sector 2. Again, this horrible little uphill right-hander. It's a lovely corner to take when you get it right, but certainly will make you flutter a little bit if you get anywhere near that inside curb, because I do mean this, if you've got your toe down in any way, shape or form, even more so on a wet day, but if you've got your toe down in any way, shape or form and you are on the inside of that curb, you're going to do very, very well to avoid slipping out entirely. Jay Wills getting some jobs done against some of the back markers there. As I say, unfortunately, with it being raining, there is no ERS to get. DRS to attain. So when you catch the back markers, you can sometimes get a little bit of a bump and get some flying laps by tucking in behind them. But it's not going to make a difference in the rain, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I was just watching Reverend Malvin follow MUFC Harvey through the lap. In turn 4, he took quite an interesting line there, as I've just seen Mr. Squiddo. Unfortunately, he has also called it a day, so it looks like no points at all for both Red Bull and McLaren in this Grand Prix. So that means there's only going to be 14 people. It's a bit unfortunate, because all he had to do was carry on going around the track, and he'd be perfectly fine there for some points. And now, Murphy, where has Murphy come from? Looks like he's made a mistake, and coming around the final corner, he might be on the back foot here, as MUFC Harvey is going to go to the right-hand side of that Alfa Romeo. He's going to send it to the inside. Can he hold on to that place? Murphy in the Alfa Romeo doesn't look like it. And now he's going to be under pressure from Reverend Malvin, as well as trying to attack Harvey as well down the inside. Oh, he breaks extremely early there into turn 2, nearly caught Reverend Malvin out there, and now turn 3, he's still, I think Murphy's got some damage there. It looks like he breaks coming through turn 3 now, and Reverend Malvin's crashed into the back of him. Luckily, I don't think he's picked up any damage, but a very interesting little battles going on there. I don't know whether you saw what happened to Murphy or not.
Yeah, we were on the stream at the time. I mean, we just didn't catch the bit where Murphy might have come into contact, but yeah, on the main stream we could see that there was a great little battle going on there. MFC Harvey looks like he's been able to pull away from the two of Murphy, so he got by Murphy, as you've said, and then Murphy and Reverend just getting in each other's way a little bit, but it's tough. It's certainly tough out there on a wet track, and you can see some tyres wobbling around a little bit, but MFC Harvey seems to have got the better control out of the three. Reverend, of course, only 4 tenths behind Murphy. Is he going to have another chance to get back past him? There's 5 laps left. Maybe he will, just jumping up on board with Sniper Boy. He's only 3 tenths behind Gautier Lefalon also, and that is he going to he looked to have a little go. It looks like he's got a better line through this also, and he had too much of it. He had too much pace. He took it too well. Gautier had to take his foot off the accelerator a little bit, and he did so, and that meant that Sniper Boy went straight into the back of him. Hopefully Sniper Boy didn't get any problems there. Let's have a little look at his wing. He looks like he's alright. Hopefully it didn't give him any orange, but he looks like he's good to me, and still travelling alright. But Sniper Boy arguably might have the pace here on Gautier as he again hunts the back of him. Mr. Squiddo's left the session, so unlucky for Mr. Squiddo today. I'm sure he would have expected
just
more.
To jump in there, Hedgehog has gone onto the soft tyres. It looks like from his camera angle it stopped raining. He's going to be the first one to blink. He's only got 3 seconds worth of penalties. There's 4 or 5 laps to go. He's got a decent amount of ERS. Maybe this could be a Jenson Button-esque call. As he oversteers coming out of turn 1, it might be a Jenson Button-esque call, and he may pick up some decent points here. You'll have to see.
I mean, if I'm being honest, looking at the screen on the with Sniper Boy at the moment with Gautier in front, there's still spray coming out off Gautier's tyres and coming up into Sniper Boy, and still going to be. I don't think that the track's warm enough or dry enough to warrant those softs just yet. But I haven't got Jeff in my ear, and he does. And Super Jeff might be telling him that it's absolutely fine to be jumping on them, but no one else on track's done it. So maybe there was an extra lap in there on the intermediates before jumping onto the softs. It certainly looks like the track's drying quickly, though. Whether anybody does try and take advantage of this, we shall see.
Yeah, it's starting to look like he's losing a bit of time to Wild Dog in front. It's only a few tenths over the lap, possibly like 1 or 2, and I've just seen on the race control down on the bottom of the screen that DRS has now been enabled. There's a few more cars in the pits. I do believe this is going to get really spicy now.
So now the softs are all coming on.
Bowie on the softs.
So, yeah, I mean, maybe it was a great shout when you were saying before he's come in to put the softs on. Just endure the first little bit, and then off he goes. Let's have a little look at tyres here. So we're on position change. All the top 8 still on intermediates, but JB Bowie, Murphy on softs, Wild Dog on softs, Hedgehog on softs, all at the bottom of the field here, and all of the ones in front have to come in. Of course, they've got a 30-second gap all the way to P1 to P6. Have got 30 seconds on MUFC Harvey, so they're all pretty much going to have a free stop. Or certainly on the rest of the field.
It's looking very, very interesting. Newman Moody, interestingly enough, has gone on to the medium tyres. Surely it would be a better idea to go on to the softs at this point.
Well, unless he's bled his softs early doors and he's maybe got some worn softs and doesn't want to go back onto worn, would prefer some fresh tyres. And if he has got fresh tyres that happen to be the mediums, then I would probably go with them as well, to be honest. Just to make sure, because he'd have plenty of grip off them. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. I'm not too sure how many stops he's had. But Gautier Lafalon currently just jumping on the softs, and he is in 6th position. Ryan Mills and Mazzles. Oh, Ryan Mills looks to have got past Mazzles, who's currently on the intermediates, and makes sense why Ryan Mills would fly past him. So Ryan Mills on the charge. He's going to get up to Jay Wills that are currently on the intermediates, and Jay Wills can't do a thing about it, really. He knows that he's in all sorts of trouble there. He won't be able to defend in his intermediates, and that's as simple as it gets. Now, whether or not he tries to get 3 laps on these intermediates to see whether or not he can just hold position on the track, it's possible, but you can see what he's doing to Ryan.
Really interesting at the top of the field. Big Ben on the soft. He's hunting down Sniper Boy, who's currently in first on the intermediate tyres. He's going to send it to the inside of turn 12, and on the dry tyres on the dry track, that is an easy move for the AlphaTauri driver, and he takes first position with 3 laps to go. It's looking pretty good for him. I'm not going to say anything, give him the commentator's curse, but it's looking pretty good for the AlphaTauri driver. Yeah,
absolutely. Things are looking very rosy for him coming up the initial straight for his first lap on the softs. Yeah, it's looking very nice. Of course, Ryan Mills has also got penalties in second. Sniper Boy, as we know, has got quite a few penalties. He's come in the pits for the sake of 2 laps. Will that cost you more time than actually going around on the intermediates? I'm not actually sure whether it would cost you the whole pit time to just do the rest of the race with those intermediates and just call it.
I was watching... I was watching Sniper Boy when he was on his intermediates, and he was losing time hand over fist in the third and second sector. So I think it might be a better idea just to move on to the dry tyres. And as I say that, the final intermediate runner, Greg's Game Centre, has come into the pit. I assume that will be for dry tyres. So now every runner in this Grand Prix will be on dry tyres.
Yep, all of them on fresh softs by the looks of the panel on the left-hand side as we look towards the final 2 races. 2 laps of this race here in Hungary, Budapest. It's Budapest, isn't it? I think it is Budapest.
It's pretty close, I do believe.
Yeah, near enough. Big Ben, current race leader, has 5 seconds in hand to Ryan Mills in second, currently trying to catch in that Ferrari. Where else is in the crate? Yeah, Crash Gaming. Gautier Lefalon in third position, another 11 seconds back. As we see, was that fastest lap? It looked like it should have been, because there was 3 purple sectors from Ryan.
Mills sets the fastest lap, yeah.
He did. Finally come up on the bottom there. That's not a bad fast lap either. Wild Dog with a 3-second time penalty in P11. Is that going to make a difference? Reverend Melvin 30 seconds behind, now coming out the pits. Nah, probably not. To be honest, it looks like the bottom 3 in 12, 13, 14 are going to remain that way. Wild Dog in 11th, 8 seconds. Look at the gap between all of the drivers now, right all over the whole track. Ryan Mills trying his best to get back behind Big Ben, but credit where it's due for Big Ben. He's had a worldie of a performance, really.
Yeah, there's been some brilliant drives today, especially from Big Ben himself, Gautier Lefalon as well, and Reverend Melvin stretching those hard tyres. Unfortunately, couldn't make it to the intermediate period. Looks like Big Ben and Ryan Mills are going to fight it out for that bonus point for the fastest lap. I've been watching Big Ben on this lap, and he set purple first sector, purple second sector. He's got a lot of ERS to play with. I think he might be going for that extra point possibly a clean sweep of points here for Big Ben. He crosses the line now, and there is a purple lap time, 1:17.0. And another thing that I've picked up is Sniper Boy in P4. He has 12 seconds worth of penalties, and that will drop him all the way down to P7, I do believe, promoting Jay Wills from a pretty decent comeback drive back up to P4.
Yeah, there's 6 seconds of penalties for Ryan Mills. Gautier is 12 seconds behind, so unfortunately Gautier can't improve. But Sniper Boy is 12 seconds. Jay Wills is another 3 seconds. So Gautier, to get his podium today, is looking very, very good, by the way. So he just needs to keep going. Gautier left for London. Let's have a little look through the archives of where he's come in the past. 7th there. Was that? That was the Autodromo Nazionale. That was Italy. Gautier 9th, Gautier 6th. He was in Austria. Gautier is pretty consistent, to be fair. He was 4th in Belgium. He was 8th in Sao Paulo, Brazil. He was 9th at race 5 at Marina Bay in Singapore. So, yeah, he's up there. He's been up there. But not too many podiums. So, come on, Gautier. Hedgehog didn't quite get the race that he wanted today. We're on the final lap. 35 of 35 as they all finish. And we'll just see Big Ben's come across the line. He is our race winner today. Ryan Mills is going to come in 2nd place. Gautier Le Fallon finishing off his final lap, coming round the final corner, turn 14. He's going to put his foot to the floor and wave at the crowd as he finishes in P3. Well done, Gautier. Deserved the podium for me today. That was one hell of an effort. Sniper Boy finishes in 4th, but he's going to get taken by Wills as a result of those penalties. Massels finishes his race off. Brilliant race by Massels today. Gets P6. Well done him. JB Bowie coming in behind him in the racing point, and he finishes the penalty points. Gets him a little bit closer to Massels, but not quite passing him, as we see Murphy take the final corner. But it looks like there's going to be someone directly behind him. Oh no, they're not on track. That's Greg's Game Centre, so he's ghosted out. He's got one more lap to go, but he's going to be finishing off his race now as we see MEFC Harvey finish his. Hedgehog finish his. He's coming round for the final corner, and Wild Dog is just about at the end of Sector 3 also, coming around the final corner to finish our race off. And with a few hundred yards to go, he's not bothered about a warning there, and that is it. Thank you so much for tuning in for this one, because that was one hell of a race. Race number 12 of season 4, the Hungary Grand Prix at the Hungaroring, and that was that. That was all she wrote. What a race! What an absolute race! What was your feelings on that then? Did you enjoy it?
Wow, it was a cracking race. Dry to wet to dry. Some definitely standout performances, especially from Gautier Le Fallon. Unfortunately, Hedgehog couldn't get the podium he's been hoping for. But it was I think he was the first to blink, and it was a very brave move from him going on to those dry tyres on the wet to dry period. But yeah, Gautier Le Fallon for me, driver of the day.
Perfect, yeah, absolutely. Got there before I could even ask you, and that is dead on. Who I would agree with probably deserves it after that performance. I would give it to him. 2nd on the grid, finished 3rd in total. Had one hell of a qualifier through a great lap time in towards the end, and went round there without a penalty. So was he the only man that didn't get a penalty there?
Yeah,
Gautier as well.
The only one who finished who did not get a penalty.
Yeah, that extends further. Yeah, that for me extends even further. Can you do me a favour? Can you get Big Ben, Ryan Mills and Gautier Le Fallon in the chat? Can you invite them to come in and see if we can have a bit of a chat with them?
Yeah.
Do you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I'll just... I'm not sure whether I've got them all as friends, though. I'll speak in the chat to see if they're up for it, though.
Well, just try and invite them regardless, and then if they come, they come. If they don't, they don't. That's all right. Don't worry about that. But just while it all regulates and we'll go back to that original lobby. So there you have it, as we wait to see whether or not any of the 1, 2 or 3 are going to join us on track after a race like that. Was pretty crazy. The strategy seemed to be huge today. I don't know about everybody racing on Thursday, whether or not that's helped or that's made it worse, to know what's the best strategy around there. To be totally honest, I'm not entirely sure if it helped or it not for me. It didn't look like there was a better one, but the race leader, hopefully we can have a little bit of a chat with him and find out how he found it and whether or not he was happy with his job. Of course, it's not going to be able to gauge much for Thursday, given that we had rain on there, so it split all of the strategies up, and as we saw everyone dive onto those softs towards the end of the race and get them finished up.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see if they're up for interviews.
That's fine, we'll see if any of them enter the chat.
Yeah, I've not got anything back, unfortunately, just yet.
That's alright, no problem. If they want to, they will do. That's no worries, but we'll give them an opportunity regardless. I'll give them a couple more minutes for them to join in. If they don't, they don't. Sometimes they're straight after a session. It's you're always pumping, want to enjoy winning. If you do, might have to just wait for them to pour champagne over each other off the podium first.
Yeah, I was the same. My first post-race interview at the French Grand Prix, and I nearly forgot to join in because I was so happy celebrating the podium. I think it means more when it doesn't happen every week. You know, some of these lads at the top that are getting on the podiums pretty much every race. Ryan Mills, Jay Wills, Big Ben. It means a lot more. Obviously Hedgehog mentioning in our chat that he'd love to have his post-race interview, which of course means that he would have finished at one of the top 3 spots. And Gautier, as I've already mentioned, he's loitered about for some time now, trying to get on the podium. So he's a massive fair play for him for getting his P3. Still haven't had anything back. If they want to join, I'll send them an invite now.
We'll give them a sec. Send the invites out.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that was a really brilliant race. To be fair, a very good one for my introduction to commentating for CRL. It's been a pleasure.
Good. Well, I'm very, very happy. Oh, hang on. Oh, that's you. I was thinking that was one of them just joining, but that's the invites going out to them. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Really, really good. Next week, of course, to everybody still on the stream, next round's going to be USA, so the Texas Grand Prix for race number 13 of 15, by the way. So the last 3 races, USA is going to be 13, 14 around Monaco, again with a special guest arranged for that week. You might be able to guess if I was to tell you that he's pretty much known as the King of Monaco, but we shall see if we get that over the line. But hopefully it's set up to get him in. And then the last race of the season is going to be Great Britain, a track that's pretty much loved by many, and it's never short of incidences, Great Britain, never short of excitement, certainly turn 1, and Cops, Maggots and Beckett's. There's turn after turn after turn store that always have the contacts and lovely close battles, which we always like. So we've got that to look forward to at the end of the season. Over these next 3 weeks, things are going to get closer and closer and closer, and we can already see that in the points at the top of the championship currently. So has anybody joined?
Unfortunately.
Oh yeah, we've got an extra. Who's this?
It's your boy BX.
Big Ben. Right now, boy. Right, thanks for joining us first and foremost. He's got himself on the top, hasn't he?
Yeah, it was a mad one still. I see at the start, like Jay Wills and Ryan Mills, they had great pace this race, and I was thinking I wasn't gonna do well. But Hungary is one of my favourite tracks, so obviously that's in my favour. And I wasn't expecting it to rain. Didn't check the weather. Had a dry setup. And then I see, obviously, Jay Wills went for the softs twice and then hards.
Yeah.
He's probably going to go to the end, but obviously it didn't work out. And then I had some great battles with Ryan Mills and a few other people in the pack. I think Sniper Boy as well. He's giving me quite a hard time getting past him.
Yeah, he did. Sniper Boy, he certainly did. There was a little bit of that all over the place because of the changes in strategies. Some of the faster runners were coming into problems and getting held up all over the track, and of course it's harder to get past people once the rain started falling. So it was anybody's to take at the end. It's a good step up that yourself has managed to get the job done. So what does that make you now? So Big Ben, Ryan Mills, he's currently our championship leader. That might squeeze you right up, by the way. We'll have to see how close that gets you to Jay Wills with 3 to go. You're 258, he's 273 currently.
Is it
Where
16 or 21 gap?
Yeah, where did he finish today, Jay Wills?
4th today.
Was he was 4th? All right, okay, so it's right between you two. You're going to become close. I think he might still have just a little bit on you, but there's there's 20 minus 5, 15 points separated.
We'll see if he brings the heat to USA.
It should be a decent one in USA. To be fair, what's your feelings on USA?
I haven't done a league race on the wheel on that track, so it's going to be quite new to me. So obviously practice is going to have to be done, because I didn't actually practice at all for Hungary. Completely forgot about it. Did about half an hour and then race. So obviously want to do a bit more than that. Yeah, well, it's get a strong performance.
The outcome's pretty solid then, considering you've not had a chance to put much practice in. That's very good. So turns, if I remember rightly, let's have a think. Texas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will certainly be a test in 3 corners. You need to get them right. That's the early doors, the little swinging right, left, right. So yeah, sweet. Okay, well, thanks as ever for joining us, Ben. Have we got anybody else on from the top 3?
Yeah, Ryan Mills is here.
Ryan?
Are you alright, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. Right, go on then. You can take over from here. Do you want to ask a question while you're on?
Yeah. How did you find the dry to wet to dry period? Obviously, we've seen some drivers take some gambles, such as Hedgehog, going onto the dries from the wets pretty early. How did you find that in that race?
I thought it was fun, me, to be fair. I just had a little bit of a guess. Yeah. Went into it a bit blind. Thought it was quite fun.
I think you guys really hit that well, especially towards the end. It was very interesting to see who was going to get that fastest lap. A very interesting battle between you two at the end of that Grand Prix.
Yeah, Perry is putting quite a bit towards the end. Like you can see, he's both trying to wrestle it a little bit, trying to maybe push too hard towards the end for the extra point. But it was good. In terms of again USA next week, how's your feelings on it?
I like USA. It's probably one of my favourite tracks, to be fair. Big statement. Big statement. I love it.
The man's put a bit of pressure on himself, right?
Not a bit of fun in it.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's fair to say that if Benny Boy there's been saying Hungary's one of his favourites, Ryan Mills, surely you repay the favour from today and go put yourself one better and beat Ben next week. We shall see. Yeah, of course. We'll get the practice in between now and then. Hopefully we don't get any rain next week, because it's one of them tracks where rain can make it extremely slow. It might feel like it's extremely slow as well because of some of the pace going through corners. But might be another week where strategy has all to play for. But there we have it. That's Big Ben in number 1 for today. Ryan Mills has had to settle for second, but still will retain the championship lead from what I know before we get the figures out. But it looks like from where everyone else has come, Big Ben's going to squeeze that gap a little bit more. So 3 races to go. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ben. And most definitely thank you, the little Juan, who I think everyone will agree has done an absolute sterling job today. When you watch it comes back, you two lads, you'll probably see how well I think he's done for his first race on Cone Racing Academy. So thank you. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I've absolutely loved it, mate. It has been a pleasure. So thank you for having me. I'd love to do it again sometime.
Spot on. Right, well, we shall see everyone next Monday, 8 o'clock, usual time. We're going to be over in USA, as we say, and really do look forward to everyone joining us then. So, as always, thank you very much, and good night.